So in Workday, so when you talk about security, so there are two kind of policies we have. Okay, one is domain security policy.
Mm-hmm.
The other one is business process security policy.
Mm.
What does these two do? The domain security policy and business process security policy. Domain security policy allows you to view or modify something in Workday. Will give you permissions to you to view something in Workday or to modify something in Workday. Okay,
Mm.
so with that
Mm.
you can perform. With that, you can see domain security policy allows you to what you need to actually do in Workday. So whether
Mm-hmm.
to access data or to view the data or to modify the data. Let's say personal information is there. Okay, personal
Mm.
information. What are the personal information attributes? Personal mobile number, email address, home address, contact address. Okay,
Mm.
contact information. Okay, so now when
Mm.
you say personal information, so as a kind of HR admin, you will be having complete access. But as a kind of
Mm.
HR auditor, HR partner, will be having some restrictions. Now I'm a kind of Workday developer. Okay, I'm creating
Mm.
a report. I'm creating a report that has to return all the personal information of an employee. Okay, now
Mm.
I'm getting all the personal information. One is employee contact address, I'm getting employee email
Mm.
address, I'm getting employee home address, I'm getting, and employee mobile number I'm not getting. Okay, so
Mm.
now I'm able to get every attribute of personal information of an employee, but I'm not getting employee mobile number in my report.
Mm.
So here you see, uh, I don't have access to personal, personal data domain where the mobile number sits in. Okay, I have
Mm.
address, I have access to address, I have access to email
Mm.
address, but I don't have access to mobile number, which is a kind of
Mm.
domain. That domain does not have access to my user base security group. So which means that I don't have access to view employee personal mobile number because of that domain is not enabled for my security that has granted to me. So domain security policy allows you to view something that you wanted to view in Workday, or allows you to modify something. Let's say if you are a HR admin. Okay, HR admin, what is the responsibility of HR admin? If employee updates, saying that my contact address has got changed, I need to update that in Workday. So what HR admin will do, will edit the existing Workday address and will make changes to that one, which means that
Mm.
HR admin have access to modify the personal information of an employee. So which
Mm.
means that uh, domain security policy allows you to view or to modify something that you have in Workday. So if you
Mm.
grant the any domain that I'll show you, what are the domains
So,
that are available in learning. So probably we'll get to know what each domain will does. I'm trying to explain you how domain security policy defines describes in terms of functionality in Workday.
mm. Mm.
So basically, what you see in Workday, what you view in Workday is completely based on the domain security policy that is assigned to you.
Mm.
Okay. And coming to business process security policy. Business process security policy allows you to perform transactions like approve, resigned,
Mm.
correct the transactions. Let's say you have applied leave. Okay, you have applied time off for a few days, and the request goes to your manager. what your manager has to do, has to take an action. Your manager has to either approve it or deny it, or if there are any corrections, if you have played for 5 days of leave, your manager feels that 5 days will not work, you can just take 3 days, and you can work for other 2 additional days. He'll be sending back. So which is nothing but resign. So resign action is something about business process. Correct.
mm,
Correct is nothing
mm,
but correcting the business process. So
mm,
let's say if you have sent time off for 5 days, and again if you feel that 5 days will not be worthy, if you wanted to extend for 10 days, so what you'll do, you'll you'll ask the Workday support team, or if you generally employees will not have access to correct the business process, you will reach out to Workday development team or support team, asking that, hey, I've submitted time off for 5 days, but I got an approval to take a week or 2 weeks, so I wanted to correct my existing request that allows me to submit 10 days of leave in the existing request.
mm,
So what support team will do, they'll edit your existing request, and they'll
mm,
correct that one. Instead of 5 days, they'll make it 10 days.
mm.
So,
Okay.
business process security policy is nothing but which allows you to approve, resign, correct, to perform all the business process transactions. So, routing transactions. So, business process allow you what to approve, what to initiate, what to resign, what to correct, kind of access. Workday business process security policy gives you. Let's say if you wanted to apply time off. Okay, time off in
Mm,
the sense. So what you'll do? Let me open so now you see, I
mm,
have enter time off. So I have an
mm,
option of taking a time off.
mm,
So let's say for this employee, if I want to mark 30, 31st,
mm,
and 27, 28 as a kind of leave.
mm.
Okay. Hmm. I'll take any of leave type. That's not.
Shouldn't it calculate when you select a date,
What is that?
the days, daily quantity or something? What is that?
We have selected, no?
Daily quantity you have put 5, na? So when you have
Yeah.
selected 5 days, shouldn't it automatically show that it is 5 days? You have already
If
selected
I've
dates, no?
if, if I've selected 6 days and if I'm giving 5 days, it will error out. If I've selected 5 days here and if I give 5 days, system will accept. So total how many days that I've taken here? I've
Mm.
selected for 5 days, I believe. So
Yeah.
if I click on OK, okay, unpaid time off is not allowed for annual leave. The annual request exceeds maximum amount of unpaid leave. Okay, there is some. So the reason why I'm showing is and enter time off. So as an employee is able to access time off task and is
Mm.
able to submit time off request because employee
Okay.
has an action to take. Employee has an access to actually perform time off transactions. So which means that. employee is provided with the access of performing time of transaction and submit the request, which will further go for manager, and manager will be taking accordingly. Now if we actually restrict employee should not if there is a policy that employee should not actually request time off, employee should inform manager, and manager has to actually enter time off on behalf of employee. That kind of policy is there in the organization. What you'll do, so what you'll do, you'll remove access to employee for time
Mm.
of business process, and you'll give to manager. That is the only thing that you'll do.
Okay. So this is business process security policy based on that.
Yeah. So business process security policy is nothing but which give permissions, who can perform what, who can approve what, who
Okay.
can resign what, who can correct, who can initiate what kind of transactions. Business process
Okay.
will be taken care. And domain
Okay.
security policy will allow you to view something in Workday, access something in Workday, and modify something in Workday.
Okay.
Okay.
Got it. Yeah.
And now we'll see some domains, related to Workday.
Yeah.
So when you actually start implementing Workday learning, there are without performing those kind of configurations, you'll be not able to access anything related to learning or access any domains related to learning. So there is a first uh, point, or first starting point, that you need to do when you start implementing Workday. Okay, there is a task called maintain functional area, any of the
Okay.
module, not only Workday
Okay.
learning, but if you're implementing recruiting, if you're implementing benefits, if you're implementing payroll. So this is the starting point to enable that particular module in tenant actually. Okay.
Hmm. Okay. Here is where we enable the tenant, is it? Okay.
Enable module.
Enable the module. Sorry. Hmm.
Yeah. So learning core. Okay. You'll be
Okay.
selecting this. Right now it should have been enabled actually, but when you actually start implementing Workday, it will be disabled actually. What you'll do,
Mm-hmm.
you'll enable this one and make sure that all these domains, whatever you're seeing here, all these domains are available for you to access. But if you're not enabling this one, and if you try to access these domains, you'll be not able to find this. Okay, so you need to enable this module, and then you should be able to access all the domains related to learning in Workday. And apart from Workday learning core, there are few more domains that will support learning when you're
Yeah.
actually implementing. One is
Okay.
learning core. Learning core is a primary thing. If you wanted to have your learning Workday learning to be in the tenant, the first point is you need to check this checkbox and enable to access learning data in the tenant.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. The other one is it's an optional based on your requirement. Customer accounts.
Mm-hmm.
Customer accounts is nothing but it actually takes care of something related to expense, something related to invoicing, which is financial data. But how it relates to Workday learning is yesterday you remember I was saying whenever you're creating course, if the course has to be associated with cost, and external trainings which has to be associated with cost, and some additional approvals may be needed, kind of topic I
Mm-hmm.
was discussing, right? So for cost related courses, if you wanted to associate any cost to the particular course, which means that cost is nothing but a kind of financial term, right? So when you're
Mm-hmm.
using financial thing, there has to be a kind of invoice. Invoice is nothing but bill. So when you're actually costing something on a course, there must be invoice, right? There must be invoice, and where your organization finance team has to approve that budget. Okay, so
Right.
so you need to enable that customer account if you're dealing with cost related courses or not. If you don't have any requirement to use cost associated courses, then no need of thinking of this one. you can just go with the learning core. But if there is any way that your external trainings or external instructor led trainings will be requiring some kind of cost, then there has to be a kind of invoice that allow finance team to approve that invoice. So in order to have that kind of actions or that kind of opportunities in Workday learning, you need to actually enable customer accounts functional area, so that you should be able to create courses that should be associated with cost.
Okay.
So when you're actually implementing learning, these are the two things that you will be doing based on your organization requirement. But the mandatory
Mm.
thing is learning core is a kind of mandatory thing which you'll be
Mm.
doing, which will enable that to your tenant, and you should be able to access all the related domains in Workday learning.
Okay. You didn't read okay, I think.
Okay, any questions?
No, not as of now.
Now, so we'll see few domains that are actually used in Workday related to Workday learning. Okay, the first domain that comes into the Workday learning is uh, let me note
What
down.
exactly is a domain, Rashid?
Both are same. Domain is
Okay.
nothing but domain security policy. Both are same.
Okay. So domains are
So
granted to security groups, is it?
yes, you'll be actually attaching domains to the security group.
Okay. Okay.
So learning domains will pick few. Yeah, import. Okay. These are mostly used domains that we have in Workday, and we'll go one by one. So to access domain in Workday, domain colon.
So what I understand in Workday is everything is a searchable thing, right?
Yes, everything, whatever you want, you can search.
But how do you remember what is the exact task or whatever you are searching? Because in success factors everything is a menu and you can select from there, but everything has to be searched means you have to remember everything that what you want to search, right?
So whatever you wanted to perform in Workday is completely a kind of task based in Workday. Okay. So you need to access that particular task in Workday. Let's say if you wanted to create a report. Okay. You don't know what task is there for creating a report or not. You just enter
Mm.
so there are kind of tasks that you'll be getting, in which you'll be saving. Or if you wanted to know what are the commands that has to be used for that particular task, just enter based on experience. You'll be getting. But for your information, I'm sharing this question tag. Hit enter. Okay, so you have kind of prefixes that you can use. These are all prefix words. You can use to actually access that particular task in Workday. Okay. Let's say if you wanted to access calculated field, you'll be using CF. If you wanted to use BP, you'll be using business process definition, you'll use BP. And if you wanted to actually use If you wanted to access any candidate information, you use can kind of prefix. So like that, there are
Mm.
around a lot of prefixes, that you can actually get it from this list, and you can accordingly use whatever you want. If you wanted to actually find custom report data source, we'll be using this one. Similarly, related to learning, you need to actually, if you have tenant access, what you can do is you can actually go here and extract this one, and probably you'll be able to find something related to learning also.
Okay.
Okay, so these are all the prefixes that we have in Workday, which allows you to access something in from search bar.
Mm.
So if you wanted to have something related to learning content, you'll be using LRN. If you wanted to actually get location, you'll do this one. These are all the prefixes which
Mm.
returns that particular data from Workday from the search bar.
Mm. Okay.
So probably you can. So based on actually experience, you'll be getting no need of worrying on that one. How do we remember task? How we need to know what needs to be entered is from search bar. No need of actually thinking of that. Based on the hands-on that you'll be getting, based on the experience that you gain, you'll be
Mm.
actually getting that information and all. Or
Okay.
and basically, we'll be also having just
And one
directly.
more thing, what I have found is, where do I find job aids? Where do I find um, suitable documentation or videos? I I check the community, but it's not really helpful. Everything you have to ask questions, you have to raise brainstorms. There's no
No,
proper documentation, right?
for which one you're saying?
I mean, now if I want to see some knowledge base articles on performing a particular thing,
Hmm.
there's nothing like that, right?
So
There'll be
if you're talking
KBAs.
something, if you're talking something specific to learning, okay. So
Yeah.
when you go for learning training, Workday document, they'll be providing a kind of training document where you'll be having step-by-step process of performing each and every activity in learning. And if you wanted to actually basically know the Workday navigations, how to actually get into navigation, how to find something in Workday, how to actually enter the search criteria from the search bar, all these things, you have free tutorials in community. You can get into that community, and you can find free tutorials like basic navigations kind of tutorials. You'll be finding a lot of videos, 2 to 3 minutes of videos will be there. You can
Mm.
click on that one, you'll be able to know how to access data in Workday kind of navigations. Whatever I'm telling the same thing you'll be seeing in
Now,
video from Workday.
now, for example, how to set up a business process or something like that. If I want to see some knowledge base article, I can't. There
All
is nothing you can search, right? We have to search question
right.
and answer. If somebody has question it, or you have to question and you have to get answers if you're lucky.
No, so those are all very, very, very basic questions. Okay, so if you're actually wanting to create a business process, uh, let's say example learning. Okay, so when you're actually implementing learning, so you'll have to create all the business process related to learning. Okay, so now what? As I said, remember business process. We can only create something what Workday has provided, but we cannot create new business process as per our own requirement. Whatever work
Mm-hmm.
is assigned a business process for customer, you can just create. So there is a task called create business process.
Mm-hmm.
So the create business process definition is a task here. If you go into the task, you'll be having list of business process that Workday has provided. Okay, these are all the business
Mm-hmm.
process that Workday has provided. Okay, most learning related, everything would have already set up. So let's say mm, manage lesson. Okay, is a kind of business process. There are a lot of other business process which would have already
Mm-hmm.
created, but these are the remaining business process in this tenant which are not created related to learning. So if I wanted to actually select this business process, drop and learning enrollment. Okay, So this is the business process, and if I click on OK, this business process is created now in Workday. Okay.
Okay. So
So
when
now
you
if you
say
wanted to,
create, that means that you are making it available what is already
yeah,
there.
yes, what is already there. So, but we don't have option to create a new business process other than what Workday has provided.
Hmm.
So you need to
Okay.
pick from the list and make it available in your tenant. And if you have any kind of requirement to enhance this business process, to add additional steps to the business, you see here, step A is there, right? You can
Hmm.
add by click on plus button. You can add number of steps as per the requirement that you have. Drop enrollment is there. Once a drop enrollment, employees wanting to drop from the enrollment. We need to have some kind of restriction here. only manager should be able to Only manager should be able to drop the enrollment, and not other than manager, no one should be able to drop the enrollment. And once the enrollment task is submitted, it has to go for manager. Kind of all this kind of enhancements we'll be doing at the BP level.
Okay.
Okay, that's how you typically access a business process, and you make it available to the users actually, not
Okay.
users. How that particular functionality has to work, you'll define in the business process the definition. You'll be adding steps, you'll be adding security, all these things you'll be performing in learning enrollment business process task. So that's how we typically access business process.
Okay.
Clear?
Yeah. Yeah.
Any questions?
No, I think we'll continue.
Mm. So now what domains I was saying, right? So we have few domains, managed media. So let me give you kind of brief description on this demos. So managed media import. What is what does this domain does? So when you actually grant this domain to your user, this domain will give you permissions to import media files into Workday. Okay, this domain will
Hmm.
give you permissions to actually um, get external media files into Workday, and bulk files. We can actually dump all those bulk media files into Workday Drive. All these things, you'll be able to perform when you have access to this domain. Okay, if this
Okay.
domain is
So,
not assigned to your security group, you'll be not
mhm.
able to import any media files into Workday. So
Importing how, through EIB or
no, you
just
can
import
also
from?
you can also actually manually also you can do, or
Okay.
let's say
So this will control both, is it? EIB as well as manual import of media.
even in EIB, if you wanted to perform an EIB, that media file has to sit in Workday, right? So
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's say if you are a sexual harassment kind of course, that you're creating, and you have a kind of video file. Okay, now you
Hmm.
wanted to actually trying to load that through EIB. So what you'll be doing, you'll be actually there is a EIB specific template, manage course template is there. You'll be giving all the course information and all, and when you try to send this information to Workday will ask you. You're actually giving all the information, but where is the media file? You actually select a digital course, and where is the media file? So you can't attach the media file to the EIB template, right? So what you need to
Hmm.
do before loading an EIB course into Workday, you need to actually get that media file into Workday, sexual harassment media file into
Hmm.
Workday. How you'll do? You'll actually, yesterday I was saying, right? There is a drive, something called drive. I think this channel does not have that.
This
Here you'll be
drive.
having a kind of drive, you'll be having here. Okay, so
Okay.
drive is nothing but which allows you to load to actually get external data and store in Workday. And from drive, when you're actually creating an EIB, anything once you load in Workday, a reference ID will be created. Okay, once your media file is actually loaded into drive, a reference ID will be created for that one. Let's say sexual harassment the Chrome file you have actually dumped into drive, and a reference ID will automatically gets created when that media file is inserted into Workday, and that reference ID you will attach in EIB template. So when you dump into Workday, all the course information that you have given will be relating to that reference ID where that media file is attached, and that course will be created with that media file. And when employee access that particular course, will be able to access that video file, which is nothing but a kind of media file based on the reference ID that you have given in the EIB template.
Okay. Now, I have a question here.
Hmm.
On the drive, this drive is user specific drive, or is it common for Workday Learning? If I load something in my drive, is it automatically available for everyone in
So
their
you have
drive?
an option. You have an option actually. So you actually loaded some documents there, and if you wanted to share to any of the user in your team or anyone in your organization, you'll be having a share access kind of option there. Let me see if any
Okay,
employee
only if you
has.
share it will be available for someone else, is it?
Yes, only
Or
if
it
you
will
share,
be,
it will be available.
hmm.
Or else no one can see that one until unless you
So it
share
will be
access
user
to it.
specific drive then until then,
It's a
yeah?
specific. Yeah,
It's like our one drive.
OneDrive. Yes, exactly. I can say similar to
Okay.
OneDrive. I can say you can relate it to that. Even you're sharing, it will be asking if you wanted to give only view access or modify access kind
Hmm.
of things. Also, it will be asking.
So if I have loaded something on my drive, and if I will I be able to attach that to a course, digital course?
Yes, you can. You can.
But
When
that,
you're actually creating course.
hmm, but if I attach that media which is there in my drive into a digital course, and if
Mhm.
I have not shared, then user will not be any user will not be able to see that course content,
No,
right?
no, 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 no. That is not the thing. So Drive is nothing but which only shares the files. Okay, from Drive, if you wanted to share that media file, or when you share that media file, um, uh, that file will be available in that particular employee drive. Let's say PDF file.
Mm.
For example, I'm saying, okay, PDF file. Course content. Let's say, for example, for any digital course, the PDF file that needs to be attached, which is nothing but a kind of media file. Okay, so you've dumped into your media, you're dumped into your drive, and probably sometime tomorrow, you're going on vacation, and those needs to be imported as a course into Workday. So what you'll be doing is you'll be telling to your team member, hey, I'll be not able to create course because I'm going on vacation from tomorrow. So I'll be sharing those media files, which are sitting in my drive, so that you can access those media files, and you can create course extracting those media files which are sitting in drive. So when your team member creates a course with that media file, a course will be created. Course is nothing but which will be available for learners. Okay, learners should be able to access that course and view that media. So there is no restriction. And when once you create a course, you cannot actually restrict anyone, as a learner, should be able to view that course that you have created. But drive files is restricted to only drive. So whoever you provide access, they'll be able to view that, or download or modify based on the access that you provide. They'll be able to. But once you attach that media file to course, it is open now. So any learner can view that course with that media file.
Okay. So I can reference my media which is in my drive into a course, or is it
Yes.
I have to upload again to a course manually?
No, no. So when you're actually creating, let me actually show.
And is there a limit of the size of the media which every person should have? Is like 5 GB, something like that? I don't know.
Drive, you mean say in drive home? What is the storage of drive? Or is that?
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
there is no limit actually. There is no limit you can actually have. So when you're actually creating course, so obviously if you wanted to have media files, you'll be creating digital course. And so I will be creating in detail. I'm just showing an example. So if you come
Okay.
down here, we're actually creating media, and here you'll be actually selecting your this thing.
So
Actually,
again,
there
this
has
is
to
from
be an
my
option.
desktop. Yeah.
There has to be an option called drive also. Drive and my computer
Okay.
options will be there. If you select drive,
Mm.
that will be directing to your drive. Actually, the
Okay.
drive domain is not
Okay.
configured here. Drive domain, there is a domain called drive that is not enabled for this tenant. That is the reason why you're not actually seeing drive here. Generally, drive you'll be having in this
Yeah.
list you'll be also seeing drive, and when you're actually trying to import media file, system will ask you from drive or from your local computer. It will ask you. Now it is actually directing to local computer, but in general there will be a kind of drive also. So when you select drive, it will be directing to your drive, and that shows you the list of files that are available in your drive.
Okay.
So once you
Got
attach,
it.
once you submit this one, course will be created, and now that course is open to for all the learners, and they'll be able to view the course and play the video with the media file that you have attached.
Okay.
Clear? Any questions?
No.
Okay. So I was talking about these domains, right? So we'll just try to know. So yeah, media import. So this will give you access. So all these things that I was explaining you, right? Getting media files into Drive and sharing that to a team member within Drive. So we'll if you are granted with manage media import domain, you'll be able to perform those actions. If this domain is not available for you, then you'll be not able to import that media file into domain.
Mm.
Media reporting. So media reporting provides you permissions to access media tracking data. If if you wanted to track the list of media files that are available in Workday, and what is the reference rate of that media file, and to access that, to track the data, to track all the media content that is sitting in Workday. So this domain will give you option to create that particular report and track the media files that are available in Workday. So media reporting is a kind of domain that will give you permissions to track the media files
Okay.
and manage media advanced. Okay, this is a kind of domain which will give you advanced permissions to access advanced media features like scoring on video
Mm.
interactions. Let's say if there is any scrum file, some video interaction is going on, and suddenly there will be a question where you need to actually answer that question and submit that one. So all those are kind of advanced features on media files. If you grant this domain manage media advanced domain, you should be able to perform all those actions to that actually advanced media files. If you don't have this domain attached, you'll be not able to perform those kind of actions.
Okay.
Okay, and learning core is a kind of important domain when you actually create so learning
Looks
access is
like
one
this.
of the learning core domain. Okay,
Okay.
what is that? What is that?
Looks like this tenant has not been set up for
Yeah,
us.
I think even a lot of tasks are not available. So a lot of security also not available. But these are basic kind of information that every tenant will have. Some actually trying to get you that information, and probably uh, I think they were saying yesterday. We are working on getting new tenant. This tenant is not kind of right content, does not consist of right content. Even they accepted, and probably they're actually looking for alternate option. They'll be getting new tenant as soon as possible.
Okay.
So this is one of the learning core domain, which actually provide access to learning related data in Workday. Okay, you can see here, this domain
Mm.
provide access to learning self-service tasks. Workers with access to this domain can search learning catalog, view course information, set the learning preferences, complete learning surveys, and view their progress in programs, courses, and lessons. So if you grant this learning access to any of the user, they should be able to perform all these tasks listed here. They should be able to view the course, take the training, and go to the transcript, complete the survey. All these actions they'll be able to perform with this domain, and this domain will be sitting in the functional area called learning core. So learning core related functional area will be having access to all learning domains. All learning domains will be sitting in learning core functional area.
So, okay. So we have to enable the learning core first, right?
Yes, yeah. You need to
Okay.
actually, while you are implementing first, you'll be actually you'll be enabling all the domains that are available related to learning. Then you'll be
Mm.
setting the security for that particular domain. Who has to access what? All this kind of information. Business will be giving a kind of information. So these are the learning administrators should be able to access these things, and managers should be able to access this, and manager should be able to access this. HR should have this access. All this information your business will be giving, and based on that you'll be setting up the security.
Okay.
And administrator campaigns is nothing but where you'll have control to campaigns. So that allows you to actually manage your campaigns, create campaign, edit campaign, schedule campaign. All these things, you'll be having access when the domain is actually assigned. Administrator campaigns kind of domain is assigned to you. This is the domain. So to actually create any kind of campaign or edit the campaign, schedule the campaign, all related information to campaign, to access all these things, you'll be provided with administer campaign domain. So once you have access to this domain, you should be able to perform these things. So how you will be assigning the security group to domain is, so once you have the domain, you actually go here, edit security policy permissions, click on that one. If you come down, you'll be having list of securities here. If you order to actually give security, to access that particular task, to access campaign, what you'll be doing, you'll be giving that particular sector learning administrator. Here you'll be actually controlling. Okay, so HR administrator, you'll be giving access to HR administrator for this domain. What is this domain? uh, Administer campaign. Okay, so if
What
you wanted to
is, sorry, in this one you have securable actions. Uh, what are these securable reporting items?
So this domain is actually, if you go to the list, these are the tasks related to campaign. Okay, so what are the items that are available? So when you give access to, when HR administrator get access to
Oh,
this administer campaign, all
okay.
these tasks should be able to perform.
Okay. Yeah.
Campaign, create audience, all these things, are the subtasks, I can say. When you actually
Okay.
create campaign, who must be audience? Audience is nothing but people who actually needs to be part of that campaign, right? So if
Right.
let's say new hires are actually kind of audience. So in order to have an audience, you need to create audience. So all those tasks, when you actually grant access to this domain, you'll be able to perform all those activities. Those are
Mm.
actually called securable items. Securable report items. What are the report items? That will be holding those details actually. If you click on details, you'll be able to see. So all the reporting related attributes. So when you're actually creating reports, if you wanted to have a kind of a campaign information to report, when this domain is actually assigned to you, then only you'll be able to access all this information in reporting.
Mm.
So all the
Okay.
fields, 86 fields that are associated with campaign, with the
Mm.
security permissions that you'll be giving, you'll be getting access to control the data or view the data through reporting.
Okay.
So domain, you'll be actually selecting the security group, and if you are giving view checkbox, if you're selecting only view checkbox, it means that you're only giving view permissions to that domain. So only campaigns, to HR administrator, if you're assigning, HR administrator can just view that campaign, but not edit or make changes to the campaign. But if you're giving modify that, you'll be providing full permissions to that security group to manage, edit, modify, and view that information based on the domain. Once you click on
So
OK,
it's,
your action is submitted, and then you need to take one more action in order to in order to become your changes to be effective in the tenant. What you need to do is activate those changes. Click on activate security policy. So you need to go to this task.
activate pending security policy.
Yeah. So once you, until unless you activate, your security changes will not be effective. So
But which
let's
one
say
are you activating? How would you know now? Okay, it's
you'll be
not yet.
getting now.
You're not done. Okay.
You'll be getting, if you click on OK, you'll be getting now.
Okay. And you can only give, I mean, for example, the domain you are
Hmm.
giving. What was the task for where you gave security group for a domain?
You need to actually get into that particular domain and give the security group. I'll show you. I'll show you after this. So since then I'm activating whatever domain that I've activated, that has come here. So if I click on
Okay.
confirm, the security changes that I've made will become effective.
Okay.
Without doing this, will not your security changes will not become effective. So now you're asking how to assign the security group, right?
Yeah.
Domain administer campaign.
So we have to go to the domain first.
On that particular domain,
Okay. What if I want to give a domain? Okay. Is it this security group also? Is it standard provided by Workday or is it customer?
you can create. You can create. Now, we were trying to find a learning administrator. No, we are not finding learning administrator, which means that learning administrator security group is not there in this tenant. You probably need to create that one. We'll create all the security groups also. See, if I'm trying to give access to learning administrator, I'm not getting because the learning administrator is not available in this tenant. So basically, every module whenever you're implementing, you'll be creating all the user base security group like learning administrator, recruiting administrator, compensation administrator, payroll administrator. All these user base security groups you'll be creating first, and those are a kind of super users where you will be actually creating complete permissions to that thing. So this is how you actually provide security to that particular security group. So we'll see how we can create a security group. Probably we'll see in different session. Okay, this is how you actually access domains and provide security to that particular domain. So once you actually provide security to that domain, what will you have to do? You have to activate that security policy in order to become that security changes effective.
Okay.
Okay.
Mm, if I want to see what all access HR admin has,
So what you need to do is you need to actually go to that particular security group.
just if I want to see what all security groups are there, then
So first question. So if you wanted to see what are the access, what access that HR administrator have, you'll be, if you get into security, you'll be finding all these things. These are all, there are around, these are all the domains that are actually attached to that security group. If you wanted to actually view the list of security groups that are available, there are two ways. One is there is a task called view security group, or you can create a report, to view security group. You
View
need to
security.
actually, yeah. So
Can we create custom tasks? No, right?
custom task in the sense custom security group.
No, custom task.
No
Now view
task.
secure custom. Okay.
No, these tasks, searchable tasks. No, you'll be not able to create those.
Okay.
So view security
What
group
is
is there in
view
that list.
security? One second. Huh?
Group.
In this page, view
Mm-hmm.
security group is there.
Mm-hmm.
Go down.
If you know any name of the security group, you can name the security group here. That will be coming up here. Or if you wanted to
Okay.
know by type, you can select the type of the security group from there. If you wanted to know application security group, you can go into this list. You'll be finding related security groups. And if you wanted to know type of intersection security group, you'll be getting here. You'll be finding related security groups. But if you know the name, you can just enter the name here.
Okay. Okay. What? Oh, there are many tasks, right? View sec for sec, view security group by user, something like that, and all is are there, right? Task. What
Security.
are the differences?
This task will allow you to actually view the security group. So view
Okay.
security for securable item. There is one more task. Okay, so where you will provide, let's say, uh, so campaign. Okay, so campaign, you feel that you have all the access, but you don't know what kind of domains that you need, that needs to be attached for accessing campaigns and all. So in that scenario, what you'll be doing is you don't know what kind of permission that required to in order to access campaigns, and you don't have that information. What you'll be doing in that scenario, you'll be actually going with security for securable item. You'll be giving campaign.
Okay.
So here you'll be getting all the tasks related to campaign, and if you go to create campaign
These are
task.
all tasks related to campaign, is it?
Yes, yeah. So if you wanted to create, if you don't have access to to create campaign, you'll be getting into this security, view security. Obviously you'll be directing to administer this thing. You'll be actually giving the security to that particular domain. So if you get into this particular this thing, you'll be
Mhm.
actually, this is a kind of create campaign is a kind of BP task. So probably you need to actually provide security in that functional area. So in this way, you'll be able to identify a task-based task. Not only view security for security, not only returns the task, everything related to
Mm.
campaign, it will be getting all the tasks, all the actions, all the domains related to campaigns, it will be getting, and you can select whichever task that you wanted to associate with that particular security policy.
Okay.
Clear?
Uh,
Any questions?
so okay, we have a view campaign or create campaign. When you click
Anything.
on view security, what does it exactly show?
The
Who all
security
have
that is
access?
no, no, no. So the security that you need to have for editing the campaign. Okay. So it will view security. If you're not having that particular edit campaign task, you'll be getting into this security, and probably you need to have this business process security. So this business process security access you need to have in order to access that edit campaign security. In order to access this one, go to here, campaign event, business process. Here you need to provide the required
So
security group that you wanted to. So
this is
edit
domain
campaign.
security or business process security. You said there are two,
This
right?
is this is actually business process security policy. So whatever you asked securities for securable item, that
Yeah.
security for securable item lets you know what security that you need to have for particular task that you're trying. I didn't actually get into details of business process security. I just shown you, like a definition of a business process
Okay.
security policy, but I've not shown you how to, as how when I've shown you domains, I've not shown you business process. But since you were asking, what is what does we do with view security for secure item, I'm trying to show you how
Okay.
you can, get the information that you actually does not have
Mm.
access in the tenant through view security for secure item. You'll be able to understand what kind of security that needs to be associated for that particular task that you're missing to access. Okay.
Mm. So still not clear for me.
Let's
So
say probably actually security for secure item is a kind of different task. We'll just go in sequence. Okay, so
okay,
we are
okay,
right now we are actually mixing up here, where you're
okay.
actually getting confused.
As
So
long as we
domain
are
security.
covering some time, then it is okay with me. I don't
Yeah.
know whether,
So
yeah.
these are actually not part of learning. These are actually general security discussions. Probably we'll have
Okay,
one more discussion, that actually gives you complete idea on security for secure item. Okay.
okay.